Hello, everybody, and welcome back to yet another episode of Against All Odds. And I'm so excited because I've got a returning guest tonight, and everybody's been really excited to see him again. So, welcome back, Simon. How are you?
I'm very well. Who was excited?
Good, 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 good. Well,
Who?
between
Everyone.
us,
Who is everyone?
all my audience that love what you do, what you was talking about, so it's great. And I'm impressed that loads of people now are actually caring a little bit more about their mindset and central nervous system and about how they're feeling. So it's always good to see the stats, you
Yeah,
know?
got some good
Yeah,
stats.
yeah. Well,
Nice,
between
right,
us, we're
good.
going to get through this because Simon's got a touch of hay fever. I've got a cold, but we're going to do this anyway.
You don't sound like you got a cold.
You wait till I start coughing in a minute.
Yeah, I'll just put the jinx on it. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I feel like my hay fever's. I think I have got. Yeah, I've got some hay fever cracking on.
Oh, well, apparently you grow up.
Well,
Have you had it before?
yeah, I get it every year. I think. I don't know. I never used to, and all of a sudden I was like, I think I'm getting hay fever all the time every year.
Because apparently you do grow out of it.
Dear, well,
But you started quite late with it then.
yeah, 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 yeah. I think I've done all my growing as well. I don't know what I'm gonna. Yeah, I think it's maybe 10 years ago. It's just you get
Yeah,
this thick head, don't you? There's like pressure in your head and in your eyes, and you're like, oh, it's
yeah,
like having like a headache, a hangover headache without all the fun.
yeah, yeah.
Honestly.
Well, it's going to be a great episode because we're going to talk about central nervous system and the
Good.
difference between because obviously what I do is brain related, but
Yeah,
I always tell people like you can do so much with your brain and it will take you a long way without a shadow of a doubt.
yeah,
But the central nervous system fascinates me because that also holds like memories, doesn't it? Like it holds a history.
yeah. I'd say so.
Oh,
Yeah, definitely. Body keeps a score, doesn't it?
I find that fascinating because everybody thinks it's up here, and it is to a certain extent.
Mm.
But you can work on this and then still not be all right here.
Yeah, I just think as well sometimes energetically when you well, we all know I've got a little baby in the house. What is he now? One, just. So, when you're tired, when you're not getting sleep and that, it's harder to focus, isn't it? It's harder to do anything mentally, don't you think?
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
Makes the game much harder, doesn't it?
yeah,
It's much harder to separate between your thinking. It's much harder to stay on task. You get more distracted. Whenever I'm tired, I know when I'm tired because if I'm on my phone, I'm just like mindlessly
scrolling.
scrolling. Yeah, it's like a nice little sign. But I think if you're not looking after your energy as a whole, make
Yeah,
everything up top
yeah,
challenging
yeah.
when
That's
you're
it.
thinking of that. I think, yeah, that's what I would say. What would you say? I was going to add to that, but
Um, so obviously our brain sends us signals like your body does.
hmm,
So the tiredness, and then you have to watch what you're doing. Like people will sometimes binge eat. Some people will just sit scrolling on the phone.
yeah,
Some people it could be anything. But I think your brain will send you an alarm signal. But many people, especially in burnout
yeah,
stage
yeah,
or any trauma,
yeah. Do you see that a lot, burnout, though? Because I think I was recording a video on this today.
right?
Well, I was trying. Every time I tried, something would go out, like my dog would start barking at the bloody postman or something. I thought, I'll
Right.
record this at home, not in the office. Be a nice backdrop, it'd be nice. Oh, I had more parcels delivered today than you could possibly shake a stick at. You think, why is this happening to me? Do you know what I mean? Like, I'll be just barking, and somebody started mowing the golf course behind me, started doing something, and I could hear it. I was like, bloody hell. So I finally got there, but I think when you get when we get stuck in life, and I think this ties into what you do, but I think when we get stuck in life, there's three common things. I think it can be an identity issue.
Yeah,
Like, do you know what I mean? It's like I'm not sure who I am anymore, where I'm going, what I want, what matters. Because I think that shit changes, doesn't it?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Over time. What mattered to me 10 years ago doesn't really matter. Well, some of it still does matter. But a lot of it doesn't, and a lot of new things matter.
yeah.
Like,
Different priority.
yeah. sort of different
Yeah.
seasons and so on. So I think it's an identity issue. I think often we have a time issue, don't we, when we get stuck? As in like,
Yeah.
God, my time is so much more compressed than it's ever been.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, I do think that it's a quality of energy and focus we bring to our time that dictates it.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know about burnout. I think overwhelm's quite high
Yeah.
in people. I wouldn't necessarily say that's burnout, but overwhelmed because a lot of people that time is a big one for people that are overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Um,
Never got enough of it. But the third
yeah,
one in the middle, I think, is energy. You just not run out of energy, but I was trying to put an analogy. It's kind of like if you're going to grow or make any changes, at some point, I think you hit a limit of like, I haven't got much more capacity in my system. And if you keep
yeah,
doing the same old stuff,
yeah,
like that stuff is maintaining where we're at. How many people will say to you, probably, or me, like, I'm just not motivated. I'm just not motivated. I need some motivation. I hear that all the time. But they are kind of motivated in the sense that they want to do something, but just their system just ain't got ever hasn't got the capacity to do it. They're just tired.
yeah, 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 and then they kind of get stuck
Yeah.
in a loop, and that falls under neuroplasticity, which is why I teach people because a lot of people say I get home from work, I haven't got time.
Mm.
And what the brain's just used to doing is getting home, walking through the door, and sitting down. The
Yeah.
brain is really lazy.
Yeah.
Like, it's so lazy. It takes 20% of your energy, even if you're just lying on the sofa watching Netflix, it takes 20% of your energy per day by doing
Yeah.
nothing. It's a lot.
Just
Um,
running.
yeah, it's just running because it never turns off. It literally never turns off. So it needs that
What's
power.
it doing? What's it doing in that time when I'm on that when I'm led on the sofa? I'm not really a big Netflix person, but someone's led there, suspended in time and space.
Yeah.
My brain is just whirring, burning up energy. What's it doing? Just
So if you are literally not thinking of anything, you could just be focusing on what's on the TV. But
yeah,
it's responsible for all the rest of your body
yeah.
functioning. That's without you thinking or being overwhelmed. It's still taking a hell of a lot of energy. It's like
Hmm.
the CEO of your body completely.
Yeah. Oh, do some brains burn more energy than others? Do you know?
Um,
I don't know.
yeah, so you can if you've got like a mentally busy job
Hmm.
where you're having to pay attention a lot and possibly focus on, yeah, you can be mentally tired and
Yeah.
it uses more energy that way.
I'm gonna ask you all the questions. So I think sometimes people don't eat enough. So I might work with some really cognitively demanding people, like in their roles and
Yes,
stuff.
yeah, yeah.
I sometimes think I just don't think you eat enough.
Or you're eating a lot of the wrong stuff.
Yeah, because we need to.
Mm.
Surely the brain is functioning on brain glucose stuff like that, right? Is that
Yeah, 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 yeah.
so? If we're not fueling very well, that would affect.
Yeah. So anything that like because you've got to run if you eat a load of crap on a break, you're really busy at work and you're eating a
Hmm.
load of crap, your body is going to feel it first,
Right.
without a shadow of a doubt, but your brain will follow.
Hmm.
Even things like not drinking enough water,
Yeah.
your brain needs water. So if you're sitting there drinking coffee all day, yes, you'll have an energy boost, but then it'll drop down. But your brain and your body needs water. Healthy food. Like if you think I like everything I say, it's like we our brains haven't evolved, but the world has. So our
Yeah.
brains are used to eating fruit, vegetables, things like that, because that's what it survives on. But now you're grabbing a sausage roll from Greg's. Do you know what I mean? And then
I know exactly
expecting
what you
to be
mean.
all right. Um, so yeah, food's quite big.
So could we say that a lot of diet could be one of the factors in a lot of the poor mental health that we see.
Yeah, yeah, massively. So they actually, have you ever heard of neurogenesis, which is different to neuroplasticity? They get
Yes.
people get
So is
mixed up.
neurogenesis where we are not regenerating, but
We are
what was
creating new brain cells. So
yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
neuroplasticity is the
Yeah.
connection.
And that's the
Neurogenesis is the building of new brain cells. So we do build new brain cells every day. But you see a low neurogenesis rate in people that are mentally like suffering,
right.
chemo patients as well. Even COVID lowered
Hmm.
neurogenesis rates.
Well, the actual illness or the time.
So it slowed down neurogenesis. So you got long COVID.
That's what I meant. So the actual
Yeah, yeah,
illness, not
yeah,
like the period of time that we call
yeah,
COVID, not just the
yeah,
factors at
yeah.
play. The actual.
They ran multiple tests.
Hmm.
They all had low neurogenesis.
Hmm.
So actually, in Europe, they came up with a technique called LMNNOP, which basically
Which, by the way, has got a lot of letters.
it has got a lot of
What is
letters.
this? What is this actual? What does it stand for?
Right. So it improves neurogenesis and it speeds it up 5 times faster in
Right,
people. Okay. So they tested this on people that were depressed. They left them on the antidepressants while they did it,
right.
ran it for 30 days, and then tested the neurogenesis again, and it gone up by 5 times.
You need to tell me the technique, don't you?
Right. So your L is for love. So it's like loving relationships. It could be with a pet, it could be
Mm,
with a person. It's people that mean a lot to you. Okay.
people or
It could
things.
be even text a friend. If you're not seeing somebody all day, ring a friend, text a friend.
Nice. So L is for love.
Yeah.
Um,
So M is for meditation.
we both like a bit of meditation.
Yeah. And people, when I tell people this, they'll go, no, I ain't got time for that. It could be five
Mm.
minutes. It could be 5 minutes. And I never say, right, do this one because we're all different. Some people like no guided meditation, some people just like the music. It's
Yeah. What about
whatever.
you?
I'm more guided meditation, I think. What about you?
Yeah. Do you know what? I would have said back in the day more visualization. I know it's not really meditation, but that was my sort of. I used to love Jesse Alder's four-phase meditation,
All right.
which was very much like get present, go back. So you'd like could use your memory to think of times that you felt great, basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you'd move forward and you'd think about the things, the kind of life you want. And then you'd sit in stillness, so then you just ease into awareness, I suppose.
I like
I love
that.
I love that style. But then around COVID time, I got very into like open senses awareness style meditation. So closing eyes, kind of who am I would be my opening sentence, and it'd be like, I am not my body. And I
Right.
just scan my body a bit with an awareness behind my eyes, basically, sort of that awareness behind your eyes. And then, I'm not my senses. I'm not I am not these thoughts. That's an interesting one because obviously you're saying them, I am,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
you're noticing the awareness behind that. And then I would just sit, and anytime I thought or got caught up in thinking, I would just say, oh, thinking. Or if I
Yeah.
got caught up in an emotion, feeling, I might say feeling, but it's always thinking. I just used to sit there, just sit open senses, just for long periods of time. And also Ascension, Arjuna,
Yeah.
which is very similar, open awareness, a few mantras or a few attitudes. But I love meditation. For me, I feel brand new if do you know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
10 minutes.
Yeah. 10 minutes. It doesn't have to be an
Nah,
hour.
just drop into it and 10 minutes here. And obviously, I like a staple daily 20, 15, 20 minutes. And we get people to meditate a bit longer as a one-off thing in our groups. Say try for like 40 minutes. And people find that easier than, say,
Yes.
10 minutes.
Yeah.
Because the brain kind of work like I think it just sort of goes from really tightly over time just to sort of like unwinding, and they like to meditate for 5 minutes is harder than to meditate for 40 minutes, I think.
Right, okay, that's interesting. Well, yeah, because I suppose it's your brain. Yeah,
You imagine people rushing in, they're like, oh, do me 5 minutes. And you sit there and your mind's racing away from the day. And then you're like, oh, get up, did nothing in those 5 minutes. But if you sit there longer, not every day, but just once, we just say, just do it once, just do 40 minutes. People go, oh
yeah,
my God, I can never do 40 minutes. They really like put it off. And then when they finally do it, they always like, I found that really nice, much easier. It's the longer it went on, the calmer I felt. You're like, yeah, because your mind has a chance to sort of, because it's
yeah.
not
I
any
thought,
stimulus.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
Love that.
I don't even know why we got into that topic, but yeah, just the refresher element of it,
Yeah,
especially
but
with lack of sleep.
yeah, so it's yeah, love meditation. So the N stands first N stands for nature.
Love it.
Yeah, the second N stands for nurture, which means, and people panic at this, but it's not that bad. So it's learn something new every day.
I love the fact. Not
Yeah,
that.
it's
No.
not that bad because people go, "Oh my god, I've got to learn a new language." If it is great, languages are
Mm.
great, or but it doesn't have to. So the only kind of rules with this is you've got to be interested in what you're learning.
Mm.
Okay,
Also,
and a lot
what do
of
you like learning about?
brains, nervous systems, anything like
Mm.
that. I've started doing an ice bath, so I'm currently researching that.
When do you do your ice bath?
So I'm doing them after I finish work, so it's probably about 6 o'clock.
Yeah, it's not too bad, is it? Evening time. Do you find it? Do you find it calms your?
I do actually sleep better.
Calms your mind? Yeah, you sleep
Yeah,
better. It
yeah.
calms your mind a bit.
I
Yeah.
actually interviewed somebody about ice baths, and he said because I did say so I've done them for about a year now, but I haven't done them for the last 3 months. So I've got back into it. But I actually
Mm.
interviewed him when I was doing it last year, and I said, "Is there a time of day where I should be doing this? Because is it affecting my sleep?" And he went, "No." So if you do them in the morning, it will give you more energy. But
Mm.
if you do it later on in the day, it helps you sleep better, and they don't know why. I was like, "Oh,
Interesting. I think it varies per individual as well,
yes,
personally.
yeah."
But
So
we can come
learning
to that. So,
what would you
nurture.
nurture? So learning anything. It could be. Do you know what? If it's it could be a new recipe.
Well, on that note, I do like cooking, and this is embarrassing, but once a week, our office is next to Waitrose. They give a free paper away.
Right.
So I go down and get the meal deal. By the way, the best meal deal, £5. It's brilliant. Just plug in Waitrose. They sponsor us, but but they give a paper full of recipes, and I cook one a week.
Nice. You see, that's it. That's how simple is that?
But
So doing that.
also, I started learning piano in when I was in lockdown. Just before lockdown came in, I had a piano teacher, and it's one of the only things I've learned without really aiming to be great at it. And that sounds a bit weird, but everything I've done in my life, I'm like, right, I'm gonna learn to do this, and then it's a goal of mine, and I'm gonna do this thing, and that's kind of the school of thought I came through as a 90-day goal. I'm gonna box, and I'm gonna learn to box and fight on some cards, and that's me setting this goal. With piano, I was like, do you know what? I'm tired of all that shit. I
Yeah,
just want
yeah.
to do something because I'm interested in it and I like it. And so I started learning. Then lockdown came in. I only had a keyboard, but then I bought a piano. And I've been playing for about 5 years,
I
6 years.
love that. You see? There you
Mm.
go.
So today I was playing some Mott the Hoople. You probably don't even know what the Hoople are. My neighbour didn't know. Lady down so she's not right next to us, but down obviously. I was like, I've been playing Mott the Hoople, and she's like, Mott the Hoople. I was like, yeah, come on, she was in her seventies. Do you know what the Hoople are? No.
No,
All the young dudes ever heard that song? All the young dudes? No.
no.
Oh, you need to get on it.
Oh, I will. I will.
David
You can
Bowie
do me
wrote
a
that
video of it.
song.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, I've been playing the piano, so that was
Oh,
my
I love
thing. I
that.
reckon
I
it's been
love
good
that.
for my brain.
It has. Right. The O is for Amiga.
Omega
So
3.
omega three. Omega threes, yeah. Yeah. You can get it in your foods, but if you don't eat enough, you can supplement with omega three. And your P is for pausing, so you sleep. making sure that you've got your rest and your sleep. So if you think about it, like it's all really simple stuff.
Mm.
They do this in Europe. People are not needing antidepressants. Some are, but the majority of them don't after 30 days of doing this technique.
So what is the technique itself? You just got to do some of that every day.
You do that every day. You tick it off every
Right.
day, 30 days. And then, yeah,
And you said it was Al M
M,
N
N, yeah, two N's,
Al M N N
O
O
P.
P, like the alphabet.
Yeah, yeah,
Love, meditation, nature, nurture, amigas,
pause.
pausing.
How simple is that? But people will, if I start talking about it over here, because we're a bit dramatic, it's like, no, that won't work.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah. So that's from a brain's point of view, but what from about a central nervous system's point of view?
Well, I think it's the same. Honestly,
Really? Okay.
the thing I was talking in Manchester in January at our event, and I was like, I think you can load them into three C's really, because with
Okay.
coaches you have to have everything beginning with the same letter or something, don't you? In your system, it's like I've got the five P's or the three, whatever.
Okay.
The three C's, I think capacity, as in like physical, mental, emotional stuff. But I was the same. I think connections massively underrated.
Yeah.
Like from any kind of nervous system because it creates a bit of safety, doesn't it? And people hate you even one or two camps for safety, that word. I think people like some people love the word safety, safe spaces, safe stuff. Or you're like, well, that sounds a bit fluffy. But I think being part of something,
Yeah.
having a bit of a tribe, even that kind of connection doesn't have
Yeah.
to be necessarily
Absolutely.
intimate, but
Yeah.
physical connection, you can break down lots of styles of connection, but I think it creates an element of safety.
Yes. Yeah. Massively.
And I think you find that actually, if you really sit and think, it's missing in a lot of lives,
It is. It really, really is.
even if you have people in your life.
Yeah.
Think about it. You got to I think the longer you're in a relationship, sometimes the more you got to work hard at creating an element of connection
Yes.
because you
Yeah.
can just pass around in life and it becomes very much. So we've got three kids, so it can become very much like you just like got to get these kids sorted. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
You fall
everyone's
into your
busy and
norm.
doing their
Yeah.
thing, and it's like roles and things and stuff to make the whole family function.
Yeah.
Friends, I think I'm really big on this. Third places, I just think like I love the technicalities of nervous system stuff, but also like you're saying with the LMNN. It's got the extra
Yeah.
N. As you're saying, well, it's basics. And where's the third place in your life?
Yeah.
Home, work.
Then what?
Then
Yeah.
what? I think that's so important. And some people say, oh, well, if the other two are great, I used to get that all the time. You don't need a third. And it's like, yeah, I think you benefit from a third. And I think our worlds are shrinking and becoming smaller. I'm going on a bit of a
Yeah.
tangent here, but
Yeah.
the modern world is so much smaller
It is.
than we think. We think it's huge. Oh, we can go anywhere we want. We can speak to anyone. You think, but I think our actual worlds probably don't see too many changes and stimulus. Much
No.
you probably go to
Yeah.
homework. Most people homework, the odd thing,
Yeah.
go to the gym.
And that is massively neuroplasticity because
Mm.
neuroplasticity, I mean, I love it. It's great, but it's got a massive downside as well if you're not careful because it
Mm.
just repeats patterns all the time because it
Yeah.
has to because the brain takes that much energy. It needs to save energy where it can. So you go into work, coming home, lying on the sofa or doing nothing, not moving. It's become that much a habit because your brain
Mm.
has decided that it needs to save energy. It's got no moral compass where it's not going to go, Simon, you're going to feel better if you go for a walk after work,
My
actually.
brain does say that.
You trained your brain really well. But it's like you have to be really, really careful because it's
Yeah, because it just normalizes and habitualizes and just runs on.
yeah. It runs on habits. That's,
Yeah.
how you get
Which
addicts and things like that.
which allows you to stay stuck in your head as well, doesn't it? Because if
Yeah, of
your
course it does.
life's on autopilot, you can just like driving your car, isn't it? You can think about anything driving your car.
Yeah,
But when you first learn to drive your car, you pay attention, don't you?
yeah, yeah.
It's new.
It's new.
So you're like, I got to concentrate, and you're trying really hard. And then after a few years, you're like thinking
How
about what
did I
you're
get
doing.
here?
Yeah,
Yes.
think about what you're going to do when you get to work. You're like, when I get to work, I'll do this. Hang on, put that. And you're not even thinking, you're just doing it.
Yeah.
But I think third place is honestly, I look at in any community we run, I'm like, connection is important. It can't just be about the habits. Can't just be about drinking and water, and which is it's got to be the foundation. But it's like, who do you have in your life? What do you do? What do you do for you? Is there anything outside of this stuff? Because I think that is a huge driver in nervous system, if you want to look at it that way, because a safe nervous system is one that's happy to go and, take on new things.
Yes.
One that's
Yeah.
not safe, not so much. But, if you're always burnt out and fried, you get stuck in that sort of survival mode, that fight or flight, where you're like, the unknown looks pretty difficult, doesn't it? It's safer to stay where we are.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think, but connection plays a huge part in that.
So I've said this neurogenesis technique, they see results, massive results in 30 days.
Hmm.
Is the nervous system about the same amount of time, or is it slower?
Um, I think it just depends where you start, doesn't it?
Right, okay.
I don't know whether they would add that in that. I'm not aware of that study you spoke about, but where did they get those people? Yeah, was it all different people?
Yes, yeah. So they are very
And were they open to it as well? Because I think that's a big part of it, isn't it?
yes, yeah,
If
yeah.
you know, you've got to want to change, haven't you?
Massive,
You've got to
absolutely
want
massive.
something to work, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
And it
yeah,
sounds stupid
absolutely.
saying that because people probably go, who wouldn't want something to work? But I think sometimes,
It's easier
A,
to
I
say the
think
same.
a certain amount of the population probably think, well, I don't give a shit. I was
Yeah,
actually talking to a friend of mine who works on that kind of stuff, sort of nationally, should we say? And I was like, well, I think sometimes you got to see that you're trying to change the health of a nation, but actually, I reckon there's a good chunk of those people who used to work in the gym, GP referral and stuff, that actually don't care.
yeah, you're right
And
there.
I'm not saying they should, but they don't.
No,
Do
no,
you know what I mean? Like, they don't. They just generally go, oh, well, I don't really give a shit. I don't care how bad I feel. And maybe they do underneath, but for the most part, you think, yeah, I don't think they do. But in any effort, you've got to, I don't think you necessarily have to believe this will work, do you? But you've got to want it to work.
yeah. Be a little bit open minded.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's the key for it.
Some of my favorite people to coach personally are people who've not done much work before.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah, because they're much more open to it. I think sometimes if they've seen a lot of work,
they start to question everything.
they start to think they know more than
Yeah,
they do sometimes, or you don't look, you're not curious about it anymore.
yeah,
Your cup
yeah.
is already full.
Do you know what you did? I saw a post that you did. I think it was either yesterday, or the day before, about we add so many things to our lives, but we don't take any away.
Yeah.
And do you know what? I literally sat there and I thought, how many people do I know that'll go, right, I'm going to start doing this, 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 and this. And it's great. It is great.
Yeah.
But then they're still running with everything that they're taking from the now.
Hmm.
It's weird, that, isn't it? I think I was like that 5 years
I
ago.
think we all get like it.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
we also cling on to what's got us so far. If we talked
Yes.
about capacity in itself, I think we often hold on to the habits that have got us to where we've got. We're a bit afraid to replace them with maybe habits that are slightly better sometimes. Because
Yes.
these things have become a bit of a safety blanket. You know, in our group, sometimes we've got a step in our path where you have to stop all your habits for a week. You're not allowed to do anything that we've taught you.
All right. Okay. That's interesting. I
Yeah,
like.
people always like, what is this about? But it's more to see the reaction. Like, and so some people have an absolute meltdown about that. It's like, and you think, wow, these habits have become a bit of a crutch. If you can't go about your day without doing your morning routine, like, I think that's a problem.
Yes,
I
because
think,
then you create a bit of fear that you've not done it right.
yeah, they become a
Right.
prison. Your habits are now a prison, aren't they? I've got to do all my habits before I leave the house, otherwise I'll have a meltdown. It's like you probably won't. You know, you've been pretty consistent for a long time. Like, I want to try and train out that over reliance on I need everything to be how it is for me to feel okay because I don't believe that's true. And it's interesting because a lot of people, the second thing happens. So first of all, that can happen. The second thing that commonly happens is they see how much benefit they get from it. Like they want to do the stuff. They're like, oh my
Yes.
God, like I just don't feel quite the same. I can't wait for Monday for me to get back to it. It creates this kind of pull to do the
Yeah.
habit. So you strategically put it at a certain part of our progression. It's like you can't do anything. And they're like,
Yeah.
oh God. And then they cannot wait. It's like they've had a little break, an enforced break. They can't wait to go do the next thing.
Do you know what? That's a really, really good idea.
I think so, yeah. I
Because
stole it
I
from.
think, yeah, I
Go on.
because I had a bit of a time of that. So I stopped journaling for about a month.
Mm,
Wow, did I notice a difference?
yeah. I
I
stopped
yeah,
meditating for a month once on
I was about to
purpose.
say meditating. Yeah, again, wow, like
Mm,
the yeah, you can't. Well, like for me, I couldn't. I wasn't having a meltdown or anything, but I deal much with things a lot better if I've just had 5 minutes in the morning to journal and I've
yeah.
done my meditation, and it was so. I didn't expect it to have such a profound like impact, but it did.
Yeah. I was asked to give up meditation for 30 days, and that's a staple of my life. And my life felt stickier. Just,
Uh,
it's hard to describe. It just felt more frictiony.
yes,
I was like, everything feels a bit more frictiony. I feel a bit more tired. And I don't feel as clear, as crisp. My thinking doesn't feel as clear, and I couldn't wait to get back to it. But I think we do get tied to habits, and they can often become like a prison. And I just noticed it in my
yeah,
own progression where if we went away on holiday, I had to keep doing all my stuff. And I thought, is this, at the expense of going for a nice breakfast in the morning or something, I'm like, no, I've got to get all this done, then we'll do it. And you start thinking, is this serving me now? Was this actually taking a little
yes,
bit
yeah,
from my morning?
yeah.
What's going to happen? What's the worst that can happen if I just don't meditate this morning? Maybe I'll meditate later. So we take stuff like that out in
I
we
like
have
that
a
you do
leaving
that.
system.
I do. Yeah, I like that you do that.
Yeah, I think it breaks, and also I always think, as a kid, it done you good not to play football, for example, for 3 or 4 months. I was joking around with my brother. I was like, why do football clubs now? It's like they finish football and then kids are playing in like 2 weeks off, and then they're training, and then they're playing in like six-a-sides, and like they're playing for like 10 months a year. So I think you can play too much. I think you can get a bit to break
Yeah,
people and good, and I think that's the same with habits, but. That's a capacity thing, but I think connection is underrated in our nervous system. We seem to think like I think humans, the cool term now is regulate, isn't it? Regulate well in a group.
yes, massively. Yeah, and I think with people with on the same wavelength as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like you say, you could be in a room for people and still feel lonely. I think finding the people that understand or on the same path,
Yeah. And also just,
massive.
just just what was the longest study on human happiness? In Harvard, where they tracked them from 18 to like 80, isn't it? That huge study. And
What was that one?
is it called Study of Human Happiness? And there's a book called Aging Well they brought out on it.
All
Um,
right.
and it's like there was a few they've got it's brilliant, brilliant, incredible study. I mean, look how long it is for God's sake. They've got it started in the 40s or something, and it's kept going. It's huge. And they're like, it's the quality, your the ability to reinvent yourself. So they're following people to their 80, and the people who lived old well weren't not having problems. Some of them had issues in their relationships. Some of them lost people close to them, partners by then, kids often by then. But they've been able to reinvent themselves, keep evolving as a person, and keep evolving their community and their connection. And it was the quality of relationships, not the quantity, not
Wow.
the lack of conflict, not we'll always get on. It's like, yeah, we don't get on, but I know you've got my back through thick and thin.
I love
That
that.
that and people age well. And I think a lot gives you a lot of safety, doesn't it? It gives you a lot of safety as a person to be in those kind of relationships.
Yeah, you did. There was actually an experiment in America a few years back now where a group of nuns actually donated their brains when they passed away, by the way, not to neuroscience. And what they found is they all died in old age.
Hmm.
They all had um, Alzheimer's, but they had no symptoms.
Why?
And that and it was down to the community
Yeah, I
because
suppose they've
they
got.
lived in a community. They had the same beliefs. They carried on doing gardening into old age together.
Mm,
So they
amazing.
put it down to that community literally saved them from the symptoms of Alzheimer's, but they
Yeah.
had it. It's like, wow.
You got excited about that, I could tell.
And yeah,
By
it's like,
your face,
wow,
you were like,
wow. I was like, how can you just dodge
next time I
these
see you,
side
you're gonna
effects?
you're gonna be a full-on nun.
Oh God, I don't know about that. But yeah, interesting. I'll just find a nice community. I
Yeah.
don't need to go all that way. But yeah,
No, that is it's like a brotherhood, a sisterhood, isn't it? But when people struggle and they're really unwell mentally, often they become isolated, and it's
yes.
am I isolating because I'm not happy, or am I unhappy because I'm isolating? It's probably
Chicken and egg, yeah.
chicken and egg, isn't
Mhm.
it? So I think connection, and I also think challenge is the third
Yes.
thing. And I think, and by that I mean like you got to take on challenge at some point. So there's stressors,
Yes.
and you can. I will say this to people: I was like, you can go down the bloody beach tomorrow morning if you want, and you can get in the sea and do your sea dip and come out and meditate and eat some greens and and get everything sorted. But if you have still got problems in your life that you're not dealing with, you will always
Yes.
be breaking. It doesn't fit that. None of that fixes your money problems. None of that fixes your relationship problems. None of that fixes the fact you hate your job and you'd rather be doing something else. None of that
Yeah.
deals with your past stuff. So yes, capacity is all important, but you've got to use it then to go and deal with the problems that are draining you, that are weighing on you, that are robbing you of your
Yeah.
energy,
Yeah.
that are keeping you constantly on, thinking about it. You've got to solve it.
Yeah.
And I
You're
think I
right there.
never did that for a long time. I think I got into all this stuff and was like, this is the answer.
Yes. Because that's easier to deal with the problem, right?
Yeah, it's the answer. And sometimes it
Mm.
is. You got a problem in your relationship, but you start to feel better about yourself. It's funny how that might go because now you feel better, you see differently, as you're the expert in that. But sometimes it doesn't, and there's still a problem there, and you've got to have the courage to make decisions. I like threes. I always think you've either got a mindset issue, a skill set issue, or a balls issue.
Oh, I like that.
It's like the way you look at things, the way you look at yourself, mindset in a simple term for me, skill set. Like it's no good having a great mindset if you were like, I want to do a podcast. I've got a great mindset, but there's certain skills to podcasting. We spoke about it off camera, like the fact you did a year of one every week. I mean, nobody knows how hard that is. We did
Yeah.
one a week for a year. It is hard.
Yeah.
It is so tough. to find people, get them on, have the conversation, all the crap you got to do in the background. There's a lot of skills you've had to build to run a podcast.
Yes. Yeah, yeah.
Doesn't matter how positive you think. If you don't have the skills, you can't do it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
So you've got a skill set issue. You think people just we just don't can't do the thing. But sometimes you've got a balls issue. I don't know what your version of balls would be, but it's like make a fucking decision. You've got to make the tough decision. You've got to commit. You know, you've got the mindset, you've got the skills. You're just not pulling the trigger because you've got to get some courage. And sometimes we have
Yes,
courage problems.
we
And
do. But
I've had them all.
yeah, yeah. Well, it's like with confidence, like people talk to me about confidence, and it's one of those things you can't think yourself confident or have
No.
more courage. The only way you're going to do that is to get out and do it
Yeah.
because your brain will play safe.
Yeah. It will.
It will. It wants to survive. But if you do it and then your brain realizes actually it's all right, so you're able to do it, but you can't think yourself out of that.
Yeah. And we are trying to think ourselves out of stuff. We've got this little assessment. I find this interesting anyway, but I think like 2,500 people have done this assessment. It's called a grey zone assessment. And it's like, have you got a skill set, mindset, or balls issue in this way? And there's 21 questions that we put together. And, where do you score highest? Where do you score lowest? And it tells you where you score high, where you score low, and it gives you a little idea of what to do. It's quite a cool thing. But I always thought, I wonder what's going to come out as people's strongest area out of skill
Right?
set, mindset, and courage, say, use that term. And what's going to come out their lowest. So I went in there to have a look. But what do you think? What do you think if you 2,500 people who are feeling quite stuck in a rut, what's their strongest area? Is it their mindset, their skill set, or their ability to take actions? Of course, this is not great data because it's probably a little bit.
I would say they think they've got a great skill set because if they're stuck, I'm guessing they got realised they've got a mindset problem.
Well, funny enough, this is what I thought, but something like 85% of people, their strongest area was mindset,
Really? Okay.
which blew my mind. I was like, no, 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 we have to go back. Amber did it. I was like, let's go back. Let's have a look at it. But I think I think it's because we know what we should think. So you can answer those questions based on it. It was like, I do what I say I'll do. It's like, yeah, I think about things, a bit of growth mindset, fixed mindset style questions as well. Yeah, people's strongest area was 85% of the time is mindset, which we kind of are bombarded with how to view life, say. So think of it as in
Yes.
like your mindset of how you view it rather than how, what you think. But their weakest area was skill set. As in, I don't know how to do it. People just, when we ask the questions around what are you doing and giving them options, people had no real practical application of anything.
That's interesting, actually.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because I think to get the other two, you have to start changing your mindset.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
then
maybe they've
you need
made
to
step
work out
one.
how, and then, yeah, it's interesting that.
Maybe they've done step one in thinking about it on my feet. Maybe step one is, yeah, I'm trying to think about my life differently. But we both know that you've got to make that practical at some point, haven't you?
Yeah, and I think the big problem with that as well is that they're probably not around people that could offer solutions.
Yeah.
I think that's a massive problem because
Mm.
I mean, I only started coaching with Morty
Yeah.
because I had got none of that around me. And it was like all of a sudden, this bloke from South Shields is telling me solutions. Let's go that way. But how
Yeah.
many people are that lucky to go on social media at that point and go, right, Simon's talking my kind of language? Like, that's just luck of the draw.
Yeah. And I think when I started, you're right. No one was really, social
No,
media wasn't as busy and it was a new thing. The internet was new, really. Blogs, YouTube wasn't really a thing when you think about it. I remember reading Paul's stuff on his like Boot Camp King website or something. And he's getting his emails and I don't think there was you had to really find information. So I think we had a different problem now. I think people are in the problem. Well, funny enough, a few nights ago I was sat just and my wife said to me, "Are you going to flick through Netflix all night and not watch anything?" Because you just like, "Oh, that looks good. Oh, that looks good. We could watch that, couldn't we? That looks
I
good."
do that.
About half hour later, you think, "I have watched the minute
The
trailer
trailer.
of
Yeah,
everything,
yeah, yeah.
and now I'm going to bed."
Yeah.
And I think that's the problem we have on social media now. You're like, "Oh, that's interesting. I could do that. I mean, there's some tips, there's some stuff. Just don't do any of it."
No.
It's just like the menu is so big. We're like, oh, yes, could do any of this. I'm not going to do any of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's a massive problem.
Things
Um,
harder.
it is definitely harder.
Yeah.
Um, but there's lots of people out there doing it, like, coaching and things like that.
Mm.
It's weird. It's like if you're trying to lose weight and you go on Instagram, there's all these dietitians, like every single one of them saying different.
Yeah, 90%. They agree on 99% of things, but it's that 1% difference. But I think I'm glad I haven't had to start my journey now. When I look
Yeah,
back,
yeah.
I think it was easier when you had less choices. And that sounds stupid.
Well, no, because like if you give so many options to your brain, it will just be overwhelmed from the start. It'll be like, oh, you know what? I'm not even going to bother.
Like Netflix.
Like Netflix, like if you go out to a restaurant and it's got 4 pages of what you could have. I mean, it's so difficult, isn't it? Because your
Yeah.
brain's just going, no.
Yeah. So I think it's, yeah, with so many options, it makes it, I think we know what we probably could do. I always said to people, I'm like, look, and you know probably what you need to do, don't you? Yeah, I need to start doing this, but we just struggle to do it because
Yeah,
life's busy and life's demanding, and we're always on now.
yeah,
But I
yeah,
think you've got to have the courage to take on your challenges. I'm all about the C's tonight, to take on the challenges. But I think sometimes people we try and start there. I'm like, no, don't start there. Don't make your life too hard. Like you're tired, you got no capacity, and now you're trying to deal with all your problems from a place of I can barely navigate my day. Now I'm going to
yeah,
take on the biggest stressor in my life. It's like I don't think you've got the capacity to do that.
yeah. And you're not going to deal with it the best way.
No, we all make bad decisions when we're what's the word I'm looking for? Under the cosh on, if we can make reactive decisions if we're not in a good place, can't we?
Yeah. That's interesting though, that the people
You're still thinking about that little thing, aren't you?
yeah, that has surprised me.
If I spoke to a data expert, I work with one actually, they'd probably say the data isn't not the best, but I'm trying to think what the word would be. Because as much as people are saying answering the questions, maybe sometimes in these things we answer the questions the way we think we should
We
answer
should
them.
answer, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
Maybe we're not answering them quite. You know, when I was a
Right.
PT and you'd be like, "How are you eating? Yeah, good." And you'd be like, "I don't think you are," like based on.
Yeah,
Then they do a food diary and you'd be like, "There's no way you've been eating that for the last 12 months." You know what I mean? You're now eating what you think, you know what to eat, and now you're eating and writing exactly what you're eating. It's great. But really, I was looking for what do you normally eat? You know,
yeah,
what is the reality, not what have you just decided to eat today because you're trying to be good and impress me, you know?
yeah. I like, yeah, yeah. That's true. That's it. Yeah.
But capacity is an interesting one because I think that's where people can make some real big tweaks.
Okay.
Like, how do I describe it? So, I think I told you this a few years ago. Did I tell you this last time? When my little girl was born, she was quite ill, so she was in the unit for a while, and it
All
was a bit of
right.
a disastrous thing. So her mum collapsed with like a blood clot and at home.
Yeah.
And they were in there for ages. So it was a long time. And I had my little boy. So it was me and the little boy, and the other two were in hospital for ages because she had to come out and so on and so forth early. And it was tough. And you get through it. And I'd have some other things going on. But you kind of grind on. And then about start getting all these issues on my skin.
Okay.
So like I'd get like hives and stuff. So if I was playing with my little boy, if he was grabbing me, I'd just end up like my arm would just swell, and my fingers started swelling and things like that. So I was struggling to play the piano. Then I went to Glasgow and I had this rash all across my stomach. I was coming home on the train and my mouth started swelling,
Oh my God.
my lips started swelling. I was like, "What's wrong with me?" I looked in the mirror. I was like, "Can my lips swelling?" And my tongue started swelling. I got off. I was just about to get home and I got off and I was like, "I think I'm gonna have to." So I rang 111. They were like, "Yeah, I think you need to go to hospital, mate. Like if your lips swelling and your mouth and stuff, my eye, don't really feel comfortable with you sitting at home.
Yeah.
Go in." So I went in and they gave me some steroids. They said, "Oh, you've had an allergic reaction." I was like, "Yeah, cool, no worries." So went home. But it happened again, kept happening, kept happening, kept happening. And in the end, they were like, "That's not an allergic reaction. We think you're just absolutely done in." Like,
Yeah. Just
your,
run down. Yeah.
your nervous system is just kicking off because they did my bloods and my inflammation levels were high.
Right.
And they were like, and if the NHS think your inflammation levels are high, they're high.
Yeah.
Because if they're normal, if they think they're normal, I'm usually concerned, because the ranges, but they were like, your inflammation level's huge. And the doctor said to me, "Oh, it might be a bit genetic inflammation. Some people are more prone genetically to inflammation." I was like, "Oh."
Right.
But my brain can't just settle with that. So I was like, I need to find that out.
Yeah.
So I went on this mission and I had my DNA done with Stride and they looked at methylation, they looked at like genetically, like how I recover, how I sleep, my inflammation. And it was mad because I had no information. They just did my DNA. And it showed exactly what my bloods were showing, the fact that I was mega prone to inflammation. My nervous system was crazily sensitive. My methylation was off in so many ways. I cleared stress very slowly. So
Right.
I didn't naturally clear it that quickly. I cleared it quite slowly. I cleared neurotransmitters quite slowly based on the variants in my genes. And it just like opened up this like whole kind of like fucking hell, like this is I don't know, it gave me like an insight. It's like I need to protect against this. Because then I had a
Yeah.
lot of meetings with people and they're like, you need to take these supplements, forget that. You need to take stuff around that's going to reduce your inflammation. You need to stop using so much cold work to start with. It's too much load on your nervous system. You're clearing that stress out slowly after, and it's leaving you tired but wired, as opposed to some people it leaves feeling way better. And I kind of knew this stuff, but you just hear, well, cold's great for you. Take these supplements, and you're like,
Yeah.
okay. But for me, it wasn't the case. It was actually going against what I was probably a bit wired for. And so I made a huge amount of changes based on that supplement wise, the way I recover, the way I approach my day, the way I schedule my work was all built around these things. And it was probably the best thing I have
Yeah.
ever done.
I love that because you've used that knowledge. You've
I've
gone
used
like,
it with
okay,
body.
so this has happened, but I can do this about it.
Yeah, and you learn why your body behaves the way it does sometimes. And
Yeah.
mentally, you're like, shit, that does happen. So I can get through a lot of stress, but the cost comes down the line for me. And it shows
Yeah.
up in skin, in fatigue, poor sleep. But at the time, fine. I'm not going to break through that. But it shows up in ways that are far different to some of our clients say, or maybe yourself.
Yeah.
And it also changed the way I recover. So I don't, for people we work with, we do weekly recovery stacks as opposed to daily, sort of an overemphasis on daily hygiene, should we say. So they're still doing their basics like you're talking about with your the oh my God, the LMNNOP.
Well done.
Learned something new today. But then it's like, how do we recover people really, really hard? Like, I go to the gym 3 times a week. It's targeted. It's like I am trying to train, right? So, hey, what can we build for a nervous system, which is rather than do a bit every day and be, because that's maintenance. how can we like really downshift the nervous system? How
Yeah.
can we really, really get a restorative day in place? And we started creating these little stacks. So around training or sometimes contrast, heat, cold, different styles of breath, depending on the person. So much so that with anyone who's burnt out, I would say think about rather than daily, get your foundations in and then think once or twice a week, how can I hit my nervous system in such a way that it forces it to recover? Because most of us are just micro on all the time, aren't we?
Yes. Yeah.
I think about it, I always relate it's like, on a static on a radio. It's like we're always on a bit, and
Yeah.
and sometimes we need to like hit it hard for 30, 40 minutes. But there's some people we work with, you wouldn't go, right, you're going to do like, we might do like, let's give you examples. Somebody who holds a lot of stress, you might say you're going to do 5, 10 minutes of like somatic style stuff, shaking and so on. Then 20 minutes of like compound session, like a physical session. And then a bit of down regulating breathing and some stillness all in one session. That's your session for the week on that. Whereas other people, you're like, no, you are so wired. Like you are going for a walk without any stimulus, nature, movement. You come back, it's heat, but not too much heat. A nice warm bath, then it's a bit of meditation. And they might, in a brain dump, maybe, they might have a completely different stack to somebody else. And
I
we
like that.
base
So,
it
yeah,
on their genetics. We use a lot of DNA now because you think, oh shit, that was amazing for me. We're bringing in. But I think you can look at recovery not just daily, but weekly, monthly, even quarterly.
I
And
love that. I love that. I love the approach that you have.
you
So
like
do you,
that? Does it make sense?
yeah, yeah. No, I like that because normally when you go into a group, it's like one size fits all,
Yeah.
and that's fine. But it's everybody's different, and like you say, everybody's central nervous system's different. We are built differently. We've
Mm.
all got different, very, very different lives. So you'll see people that will do absolutely amazing, and the people that can't actually keep up with that feel like they're always flagging. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's not great. So I love the fact that it's very personalized.
Well, I think you can see some people just, are thinkers,
Yes,
constantly in there, and some people aren't. Some people are physically, you know, just tired and low, but some people are just a bundle of nervous energy, but get anxious. And it's like, how are we treating you the same? It's like, you've probably got different needs. And
yes,
because we ended up partnering with the company who did the stuff with me, and they plugged that in for us, you're like, holy shit, like, I can see. I've known that client for a few months. You're like, oh my God, I can just, what they're saying, I can see it. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean? Now you've said it, I
yeah,
can see it. And this is maybe why certain things haven't worked that we've tried. And actually, you plug
yes,
something differently and you go, that works way better. Because some people don't need big bouts of heat and cold. You
yeah,
know, for me, if I do a 20-minute real hot sauna, it causes me problems and it makes me tired the next day. I don't sleep as well. If I do 12 minutes and get out, that's just enough dose for me to reap the rewards of that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That's impressive. I do like that you do that with your group. So is it men and women that you have in the group, or is it just men?
Yeah, yeah, men and women.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I love that.
yeah, yeah. I think I'd always do it that way. I don't. I did think at one point maybe I'd do just a men's thing at one point. I was like, maybe we do a men's thing, but I actually think women benefit from being around men,
Yes,
and I think men benefit from being around women. Some of the best coaches I've had have been female for
yeah,
me,
yeah,
and
yeah. I love
I
that.
needed that insight, that different energy and approach to someone more feminine than more masculine. But I think being in a mixed group, I think the mixture of energies is good.
I think so because it's inclusion, isn't it? We are already divided,
Yeah.
as people. So bringing people to, and I think that's a really good idea. So where can people find your group? How do they start? What's How'd you
Is
get started?
in how do you get started? Probably the best place is on Facebook, in there, and we have all our links to our groups on there. Do you know what I mean? Yeah,
Hmm.
that's just under Simon Gwilliam, and I'll be there with a lovely hat and a dog. I've never changed that profile picture. Maybe I should.
No, keep it
Maybe I should.
iconic.
But I've kept it. It's my dog on a table or something, isn't it? In my old cottage. Um, YouTube now, Wisdom on Tap.
Yeah.
That's a
Okay.
great channel full of great stuff that we do. I think our podcasts were great. We've got loads of free trainings on there. Instagram, I'm not much of an Instagram person. People tell
I
me I need
forget.
to be,
Yeah, I forget about it all the time.
but I just know I don't get any value from it. I think you find it hard sometimes. I don't personally get any value from Instagram. I find
Yeah,
it
I feel the
draining.
same. Yeah.
I'd rather be on YouTube. I'd rather watch a YouTube. I quite like reading longer posts on Facebook. I find Instagram, I just get sucked in and you're like, what am I doing with my life? Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I suppose I don't really lean to posting much on there. But somebody did tell me if I didn't have it, then I may as well not exist. But I think that's the best place to get us on Facebook and YouTube, Wisdom on Tap. But I need to ask you something anyway, because
Oh.
I thought you were going to be a person. So ADHD.
Yeah.
I'm really intrigued into ADHD. I
Okay.
don't know why, but I'm because it's something I see so much of now. It's
It's
very hard.
it's right. It's very sad. So I actually did a couple of weeks ago. I actually got the chance to interview the person that taught me about neuroscience,
Right.
and he's over in Brussels. And we spoke about ADHD and all things neuro related.
Right.
And yeah, so there are a small amount of people with ADHD. Now, normally, if you are abroad, they would give you an MRI scan.
Would they?
Yes, yes, they would.
Crazy.
Yeah,
What are they looking
and
for in that MRI scan?
so with ADHD, so there obviously you can't pick up brain chemicals on a normal MRI and a functional MRI, but it's the prefrontal cortex tends to be a little bit smaller in
Hmm.
somebody with ADHD. So your prefrontal cortex makes decisions. It's your logical
Yeah.
brain, you know.
Is that all the executive functioning, would you
Yeah,
say?
yes, yeah. So that tends to be smaller. What we do over here is this: you can go onto Google and you can do a lovely questionnaire, and
Yeah.
you will end up being diagnosed with some kind of neurological
Yeah.
kind of disorder. The problem is, and he's really passionate about. It's fascinating. He gets to the where he works. He gets to see all the research.
Hmm.
The world is just so manic. Um, you've got your phone, then you're at work, and then you've got to pick the kids up. You've got to, it's constantly switched on, which is why I love what you do. You are making people
Hmm.
take a step back. That
Hmm.
any overwhelmed brain will act like it's got ADHD. Doesn't mean you. It doesn't mean you've got ADHD. It just
Hmm.
means that
Symptoms.
you've got symptoms because your brain is burning out.
Yeah.
But what happens is over here you have a tick sheet and you'll go see a doctor and they'll go like this, tick, tick, tick. And they're offering medication for this and labeling people.
Hmm.
So as soon as you label anybody anyway, I don't agree with or not
Yeah.
putting a label on somebody without finding a solution beforehand is immoral in my eyes. Because as soon as you put that label on it, it's almost like, well, I've got ADHD now, and your brain is what you tell it.
Yeah. But I see that a lot, well,
Yeah,
my ADHD, and I think it's good that people can get like sometimes get like oh, maybe that's why I'm like that. But it's when it becomes your
identity.
excuse and destiny
Yes.
that I'm like, hmm. So I suppose the reason I asked you is because I did a lot of, not like your level of research, but I was like, I'm going to do some research about this. And, you know, where's this coming from? This is it. I'm just more aware of it. Is there more cases? There's obviously more cases, and I've been through the questionnaires myself previously. And then obviously you should go on and have a more formal assessment. Was it prevalent as a kid and all that, isn't it? Was
Yeah,
you're not
yeah.
just because the reality is it displays very, like you said, very similar to a burnt out, distracted brain, which we're living in a world where people are burnt out and distracted.
Yeah, and it's going to get worse. So he actually said that because my question to him was, I think we'd mentioned it back in our podcast, like they must start getting stats soon
Yeah,
about like the social media. So he told me they've already run it. They've been running these tests since 2014.
right. And what were they saying?
There's a report coming out to say that the younger generation, for the first time ever, have a lower IQ and a lower emotional intelligence.
But you don't actually have to. I don't think you even need the data to see that sometimes. I don't mean
No,
that
and he
horribly.
said it's the first time in
You-
history it's ever
yeah.
happened because
You-
normally the next generation are cleverer and they're able to communicate more. And it's the first time ever this has happened that we've got lower IQ now and lower emotions
but also, I
because
think the readily available information doesn't help. You don't have to
you don't
learn
have to
anything. Just
research. You
go
don't have to
find
research.
it.
No.
So you're not exercising your brain, are you? You're not going, let me think about that. You're often going, what's the answer? Give me the answer. It's the shortcut. But I was interested because I think, like you said, I think it's disastrous when people are like, yeah, maybe I've got a bit of ADHD. And they're like, brilliant. Have some dopamine, norepinephrine stimulating flipping chemicals thrown in your brain. That'll figure you out. And some people maybe, I can appreciate the practice of good medicine, how that can help some people when it's disastrous. But a lot of people, you're like, was that necessary? Because you
I
can
think
manage it
it's
well.
yeah, I think it's quite shocking as well that people are very quick to take medication that changes your brain chemicals.
Yeah, like bloody Skittles, like the paracetamol.
Yeah,
That's
and
what it's like
I
sometimes.
just think that like it is the most powerful organ that you have got,
Yeah,
and you shouldn't be messing around. What think?
yeah.
Try something different first. Try calming your central nervous system.
Mm.
Try what you
I think
do.
for me, I think I'm never against medication because I think people, it can keep people
It's
alive if
got its
needed.
place.
It's got its place. But when all you got is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. And sometimes you're like, I think you're just going for a bit of a hard time. I think you'll be all right. I don't think we need to load you with drugs. I think you're going to ride this out. You'll be fine. Try this, try this. But, it's the trouble is it's all a bit too easy. It seems the first port of call, doesn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
And I think in some cases you need it. You're like, yeah, you need to get on this and get enough because you can't. You're in such a place. You're never going to be able to do anything. So let's get you to a point, and then. But unfortunately, it seems like sometimes it's a bit overkill. So I was just wondering about ADHD because I come in for some stick the other day on a free training because I was like, I get a lot of questions about ADHD. What about will it work with me and my ADHD? I'm like, well, I think there's good ADHDers and I think there's shit ones.
Yes.
Right? Like when I worked in the gym, I worked with diabetics a lot. There was good diabetics, the ones who actually give a shit and tried to handle their blood sugars well and tried to live and try and adjust. And there were shit ones who just didn't care, just awful with their blood sugars, and actually were lazy and didn't want to, and thought it was like they'd had this thing and that's it, that's the end of it. And I think I see that a lot with ADHD in the nicest possible way. It's like there's people who go, shit, I'm struggling with this ADHD. I got this diagnosis, and I'm gonna try and move and practice mindfulness and all the stuff you spoke about, and I'm gonna really try and look after myself. And there's ones who just go, oh well, that's it. That's why I'm like that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
Explains everything.
yeah, that's why I'm like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is who
maybe.
I am. Yeah.
Could also be the fact you don't sleep and you smash 500 caffeinated drinks in you and you eat like crap and you don't really take any time out and you're glued to your phone. That can also be
Yeah.
why.
This is it. That this is. I just think it's a sad way that we are very quick to diagnose with somebody with a neurological condition
Yeah.
What a sad world we live in.
So what did your man say? What did you take from him?
So he said if there was nothing done about it, you would see like levels of that being more of a problem that will become the norm. But
Mm.
it's like there's a lot of countries now that are banning under 16s from social media. It looks like we're following suit. We're running trials now, but Australia have, France have now, because they've realised, they've took note, because this report, you can't get away from it.
No. I also sometimes think, because the more skeptical person in me thinks, my mum and dad came to my house yesterday, right?
Right.
I have a Wednesday off with my kids. One's at school, but the other two aren't. So I take a Wednesday off and I've always done it ever since I had a kid. I took a Wednesday off and spent the time with that kids. My mum and dad came over. We were just chatting about life. So they're in their 70s. And I was saying, Dad, do you remember, on a Sunday you'd play in the village cricket team, and you'd go for a pint
Right.
after. We were talking about all
Yeah.
these things. I was like, it's not so common now around here. Villages don't have cricket teams and people's worlds. They haven't got time for that stuff. But I was like, I was like, I long for that old-fashioned way of life.
Yeah, I do.
That simple way of life that had less like people are like, oh, I'm renowned for being terrible with my phone and not having it and stuff, but it's because although I think it's great for stuff like this when used purposefully and connecting well, I think for the most part we're glued to this society that keeps us on a treadmill and we got to
Yeah.
keep pedaling the bloody thing. But I don't
Yeah.
think it serves us for all the advancements we have, and many of them are wonderful. A lot of them, progress for progress sake, for me isn't the way forward. And like you said, a lot of these studies coming out now are going, actually, this is really shit for people.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Which is good, but I think sometimes the skeptic in me is like, it doesn't serve the society to have people not on their phones, to have them not on media and on Amazon every 30 seconds. It doesn't serve them to
I was
not.
about to say it has some level of control. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even with like fact checking and stuff like that, eventually you're like, well, who is the fact checker of the facts? Like
Oh yeah.
what says you're right?
Yeah. This is, yeah, it is a level of control.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
I thought that was me being a bit of a skeptic. I was like, you know what?
No, no, not at all. It is pure control. Um,
Like, it doesn't take
and
a rocket science, does it? Rocket scientist is to be like, a lot of young people are struggling mentally and struggling with ADHD, so much more common now. Da, da, da. Okay, well, let's look at their lifestyle compared to the lifestyle of someone 20, 30 years ago.
yeah, yeah,
What's Oh, right. Well, this advent of the internet and like all these phones and shit, that can't help. No, it's not that.
yeah. So he was saying it's like people have lost the ability to be bored.
I'd agree, yeah.
Yeah, it was like people. So creativity lives where boredom is. So you're bored, you're more likely to be creative.
Mm,
Like it says, when you were little, if you were bored, you'd sit there for half an hour. Oh right, okay, I'm going to go and build a den out of that. It
yeah.
was like, but adults need to be bored as well. It was like, but what's actually happened is that we've got phones, so you automatically go and pick your phone up, and even though what you're seeing is absolutely crap, you're still not 100% bored. It was like, and that's what we need. So he kind of uses like boredom is also like a meditation.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, and he's absolutely fascinating. And he says everything very simple. And he was said this report is shocking. The results are shocking. He said even though it wasn't unexpected, the amount is shocking. But
Mm.
the UK's are always the last to pick up on anything like this. So, like I say, Australia's banned it because children's brains they're not even formed properly yet. So it's going to lead to problems.
Mm. Even
Of,
adults,
I
surely
was
there
about
must
to
be
say,
studies on adults where you
yeah,
go, our brains, as you've said, are always
Yeah, yeah,
wiring up, aren't they?
yeah.
Yeah.
And we're not doing that well, so the kids aren't going to do that well. But I think about it, it's like we don't get bored anymore. There's always something.
Yeah. And I see that a lot in kids, and I hate like I don't I when you're a parent and when you have a few kids, you have empathy for parents, don't you?
Yeah,
You're like, it's fucking hard work, and they can be hard work. It's challenging. So you go on holiday and I don't not let my kids use a tablet. That'd be wrong, but they just don't. And I'm not saying that makes us better than kids who use tablets, for example, not at all. But I think sometimes, on holiday, you're like, right, it's got to that point on the plane where maybe we should, you can use that bloody
yeah,
tablet just to get you engaged. It's a long time on a plane. You're only six. But I don't know what you think about this, but for me, I think I never want it to be the first thing we do. So I remember being on holiday in Portugal and you just see families sit down. So you'd sit down for lunch and they'd sit down, tablet out, earphones, set them all up. Boom, kids would just watch something, eat their food, or the adults had a chat. And you just think, that ain't good for you, is it? Fucking plugged into a thing all day long. That can't be good for anyone.
no, it's not.
But we do it because we want the easy life. I get that. We're like, oh, it's such a ball ache. You don't want the discomfort of like they're going to kick
Yeah,
off and be bored and play up.
yeah.
That's got to be good for them down the line.
No, it's not. It's sad. It's so sad.
It's just disappointing for me when it's the first thing. It's like maybe get to the hour in where they're like, fuck, no, God, like just watch that bloody phone like for 5 minutes.
Yeah, yeah.
Just go over there. Just watch that and
It's
put your
sad.
earphones for 5 minutes. But the first point of call where you go, and it sounds judgy saying that, but just when you do what we do, you sometimes look and think, am I setting you up? Are you being set up, that
Yeah,
person?
yeah,
That
exactly
kids,
that.
just to not ever be able to sit for themselves or to not be able to concentrate or.
It's so sad. It is now time for something to be done. When they ban it for under 16s, that's kind of solved one problem to a degree, but
Mm.
something else, and I don't know what the solution is, but something else needs to happen as well.
It's true.
Because it's all right banning under 16s off social media, it's not stopping a parent handing them the iPad to watch Peppa Pig with headphones on.
Yeah. And there's
So
nothing, like I said, there's nothing, I don't feel there's anything wrong with that. If you have to, here and there, but when it's just like the first thing you do all the time in the morning, bam, in the car, bam, at the thing, but you're like, I just don't think that can be
no, it's not.
it's
No,
any good for you.
no. Again, it's losing that. It's they're not connecting.
Yeah,
They're not running about. They're not being physically active. They're not. I just think it's really, really sad.
surely there's some kind of reward loop in there as well. Like, a dog where like, if you any attention
Yeah, yeah,
promotes the behavior. And surely if like you're bored, you get given something, you watch it, you get all this dopamine, really, don't you, flooding through. Surely that just creates a loop of I'm bored, I need that. I'm bored, I need that. I'm sad, I need that. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, yeah. So I mean, yeah. But let's get dopamine in a better way because dopamine's a great brain chemical, but it's also a very
yeah,
dangerous brain chemical.
yeah,
So like learning something new. Like
yeah,
kids when they're little, when they first achieve something, it could be building, putting shapes in the right holes and things like that. It
yeah,
could be running around at the park having a nice time. Let's get dopamine in a good way
yeah.
and
That's what I mean. I mean,
not
surely it's
artificial dopamine.
yeah, surely it's creating a bit of a thing where they get bored and their brain just searches for the
It will
hit.
be. It will be because that's
That's the
habit.
pattern that's playing out.
Yeah, it's addiction.
Yeah.
Um,
My son's a little shit. Like now and again, he gets it right, and he's six, and he'd get it from in the morning before school. And you think he'd get up a bit early and he'd climb up and get it. Very rarely, right? He's a nightmare when
yeah,
he gets off there.
yeah,
I'm like, mate, you're ratty little sod when he's been using it.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's just me thinking that. I'm like, he's really awkward. Like it's like he looks like death warmed up. You know, he just looks
It's like
like
a
he's staring at a
supercharger.
screen. You're like, mate, you look like a zombie, like, don't know, some kind of like worn out zombie.
Yeah.
You just
It's just awful.
start doing that.
Yeah.
What happened to your eyes going square if you sat too close to the TV?
Oh, they
My
were the
parents used
good
to say,
old
you sit too
days.
close.
Yeah, and we had to wait for a program to come on. It wasn't just instant. So you had to be there at the right time, you
Yeah.
know?
My parents were like, don't sit too close. Your eyes are going square. Kids are like
Yeah.
that. It's like your eyes are
Yeah.
going to go rectangle, are they?
Yeah. Yeah.
Rectangle.
Yeah.
Moving.
Oh, I love it. Oh, it's just, yeah. So, well, thank you for another amazing chat. Like, you really
Thank you.
are like a breath of fresh air.
Thank you. Same to you,
And
my friend.
yes, I love the fact that you are going around sorting everybody's central nervous systems out because it is needed.
It is going to be even more needed, is it not?
I think so. Absolutely.
I think yeah, I think we are going to see, aren't we?
Yeah.
Younger generations, post-COVID, things like that, the lockdowns and stuff, I think.
Yeah. It's got, yeah, massive impact. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes. Well, we're here, me and you, doing our thing.
yes, we're
I
doing our
appreciate you
thing.
having me on.
Yes.
Second time round.
Second time round.
Second
Loved it.
time.
Well, yeah, an absolute legend. Thank you so much for your time because I know you're an extremely busy man.
Thank you. No, thank you for having me. I always make time for people I like talking to. So
All right, you take care.
I shall. I'll see you on the other side.